Welcome everybody to the Media of Things. We are live today on Facebook with a special guest. And today we have our local Taos, New Mexico artist who is actually a interdisciplinary artist that works within realms of past, present, and future, and centers her work in Black bodies. And so she is an amazing artist, has been awarded, you can talk about your award, Nikesha, and has received an award for her work with her sculpture. And it's just an amazing artist who works in a lot of different mediums, including film and photography, painting, sculpture, and performance. So the Media of Things is demystifying everything media. And I thought it would be super special today to invite Nikesha here and to have on behalf, to talk about Black History Month, and also to go back in time to, with her artwork, and she could talk about her artwork, and then we'll demystify some of, how media is being used in her work, and how we can use media, not just to communicate for a Zoom meeting, but to actually, produce something that's really making a statement and a shift in our society. So welcome, Nikesha.
Thank you so much. Hi, thanks Pamela for having me. And I do want to say I use the they them pronouns.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I know I don't know if we talked about it before, so I just it's nice to be able to speak it. I'm just glad to be here and excited to share a little moment of my work with you. I'm right in the middle of a huge preparation for a big exhibition happening in the end of April in Santa Fe. And so it's a good time to catch me sort of midstream with lots of different projects going on.
Well, I actually saw some of your work that you've been documenting on your social media pages, and I love what you're working on. So tell us about it.
Yeah, I'm right now, as I said, working on this big solo show. It's my first kind of breakout solo show with work that I've been working on over the last 2 years. Some not quite 3 years, about 2.5 years of work. And one of the main parts of it is this large site-specific installation that I'm doing, where I'm going to be installing a life-size boat in the middle of the gallery, as well as 20 feet tall curtain enclosure, and really a contextual and narrative piece that will also serve as a performance space and performance stage for the opening of the show.
Wow, that's so exciting. So where is the opening? Where's the show?
It'll be at Foreman Concept Gallery in Santa Fe, which is right in the rail yard. It used to be Zane Bennett Gallery.
Oh, okay.
Really beautiful, really nice space, right kind of just across from Tomasitas.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. I actually had no idea that your elaborate boat and the project that you're working on was like a 2.5 year project. So I saw that you had done some 3D modeling, and also that your just the process that you were etching and you were working. So to tell us a little bit about that work.
Yeah, so the boat itself is called the Ark of Return, and I've been just working on, the boat's been in my mind and formulating for all this time as a part of this large exhibition. But over the last 2.5 years, I've been working on large paintings and sculptures and charcoal drawings and publishing a book. And there's a lot of other things that are going to be in that show. But this boat itself, the final manifestations are coming to life now. So it's exciting to share it. The Ark of Return is a conceptual boat, it's a conceptual vessel that I have imagined to really be, as we kind of imagined or thought of, and part of our larger Eurocentric narratives, Christian narratives of the Ark, of Noah's Ark, carrying what is most precious from the massive tides of the deluge and the transformations of the world. I imagine the deluge of colonization and the Ark that would carry Black and Indigenous bodies, into their essential futures. And what would we carry, and how do we carry that? I envisioned the Ark as being a vessel that would help Black bodies and Indigenous bodies renegotiate what return actually means, what it means to return to land, what it means to return to our own bodies, what it means to return to our own stories and narratives within contemporary culture as we move forward. So the boat itself is a conceptual vessel. The structure of it, from my mind, I trying to think of how to build a boat, because I've never built a boat before. I really relied on media and my ability to work with digital media to help troubleshoot a lot of things. So using 3D modeling, I built the boat in the computer so that I could see it and move around it and sort of visualize the space. And then I've now taken that digital model and turned it into actual working files to be cut out of wood. And then from there, those wood pieces I've fashioned and sanded and begun to construct into the actual boat structure. And then beyond that, I'm also working very much hands-on in craft work. The whole outer skin of the boat is going to be made of hundreds of small copper plates that I'm etching every day, hand etching, and then they'll be dipped in acid baths, and I'll go through a chemical process, which is really exciting also, to go from craft work to chemical and these other types of processes.
Well, that is really the whole interdisciplinary is really true of your work,
Yeah.
because whatever you do is amazing. Your paintings are breathtaking, as we can see there in the background, and you're not afraid to try new things, as we have to innovate, and you have this idea. So you went from this concept to, it's almost, are you midway through or bringing it to more than midway through?
Yeah, there's lots of stages. So I do have the 3D model, which I can show if you wanted to.
I would love that. I would love a sneak peek.
Yeah, why don't we do that now, just because that's fun.
Okay.
Am I able to share screen?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let me click on. All right, can you see this?
Yes.
So this is an image of the boat, and I'm going to zoom in here. The boat itself, as you can see, is made out of wood. So the whole structure, all these bars that you see are all wood. The whole top as well is wood, and the basic structure. The outside I've designed to be these copper plates, which you can see in this 3D model. These are what I'm etching and working on right now. So the boat itself, this, is sort of a mock-up of how I imagined it on a platform. I'm actually redesigning how this will be. It probably will just be a stand. But yeah, all of this will be copper work that I'm doing.
Wow.
In this moment. And so the whole outside will be like a copper fish almost. And then the inside is one solid copper plate, which will be fully etched. I actually have, well, you can't quite see it. I can't turn the camera, but I have the prepped copper plate now ready. So that'll be about a 6 foot long and 3 foot wide solid copper etching. So the center of it will be both a large image as well as a place where I'll be laying bodies and doing my performance work in the boat. So this 3D modeling is really exciting because, as you can see, I can move around, I can get in close and see, how the structure is and change and work these different lines. And then, yeah, from here, I was able to take this design and take it, as I said, right into the computer. So right now where I'm at is that I come back, I have the whole structure built, which I've been putting onto my social media. And the skeleton of the wood is built and stained and ready to go. And my next phase is going to be to build the hull, which will be made, at this point, I'm working on a copper mesh hull for the whole thing. So it'll be a tight copper mesh, which I'll then be hand sewing all of the individual hand cut copper etched scales onto.
Wow, that's pretty amazing and a huge undertaking, because it's like a new realm. It sounds, at least from my observation point, and yet you seem so comfortable with it. Yeah. With etching and, conceptualizing the piece because it's just meant to be.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's most exciting for me about just having that permission as an interdisciplinary artist to really to work with everything that I have. It's new, but it's not. The truth is, a whole life of gathering individual small skills, pays off. And when they start to find their home, I've realized that things that I never would have known, about, whatever small abilities I have with, even with working online with graphics or with, being able to map things out in Photoshop, or, these types of skills that I just can lean onto are incredibly important and essential for being able to manifest some wild ideas that I have. Because it is that I just am like, oh, I want to make a boat made of copper. How do I do that? Oh, okay. Well, let me pull on all the different skill sets that I do know. And, I've done a little bit of copper before in this way, and how, if I could make it bigger, what would it look like? And so a lot of it is trial and error and just having that confidence to jump forward.
Wow, it's pretty amazing. And so I actually am curious to know how, like, do you have grant money to do this work, or how does a person work on a project like this for as long as you've been working on it?
I am very resourceful as an artist. I have gotten a couple small grants. The Three Sisters Collective gave me a small grant this year that was really supportive of trying to help my work continue through the pandemic. I was also given an artist relief grant from New York that helped this year to help mostly just pay my rent and studio, support and supplies. So pretty much all the work I do is self-funded. And for that reason, I've become incredibly resourceful. Again, being able to do my own 3D rendering, saves me tons of money. As like an artist who didn't have that skill would have to lean on another person to do that work, or, being able to, do a lot of the pieces on my own is really helpful. And yeah, and then, of course, having people who are supporting me and volunteering, and my kids are helping, and then materials wise, I'm always really good at sourcing used materials, things that are recycled, things that are, taken from Habitat for Humanity, places like this. I've been able to get support. So
Wow.
really out shoestringing it along,
Yeah.
and crossing my fingers.
which is, if and you believe in something, and the work that you're doing is so powerful and really speaks to a history and a time that keeps moving. And I think that's one of the things that you do with your work, right? You go back in time and yet you move forward in time, right? And so it's also very timely for you to be working on this. I would think that you would have a lot of support and in your, in the message in which you speak of and are carrying forward.
Yeah, I feel like I'm very thankful for the world's movements towards being louder, the ways that people are in the streets speaking of the necessity to honor Black and Indigenous life, and the ways that we're still fighting. I'm just in such honoring of so many people across the world that are rising up right now for the necessary changes that are coming and all of the voices that are contributing to that, including, you know, all of the artists that are working in so many different ways to support this process of our developing a new future, really, where we are honored, where our work, our vision, our ideas, and there is true justice. You know, these things are important to me, and really the focus of everything that I do. My work definitely, you know, in this time has had a lot of support. A lot of eyes have turned towards the work that I'm doing, which is really great, because it creates more of a platform for the messages to move through. The way that I feel, you know, I work with that past, present, Afrofuturist lens is that if we can do this work now here, if we can, you know, working with ritual, particularly in my work, working with remembrance and these reconciliation and reparations practices, when we do that we actually have the potential to heal backwards in our timelines, right? That I believe that the way that intergenerational trauma moves forward in ourselves, you know, that there is the potential for our, you know, our consciousness to move backwards, you know, and that I feel like I'm often, you know, tying pasts into presents, into futures, you know, all of the time. It's a great weaving of time. And as an Afrofuturist artist, I feel.
Ooh, you just froze.
Oh,
and I
my
hope
back.
that maybe the recording
Am I still frozen?
is showing you.
I can hear you, but I can't see. You're frozen as well. Oh, and I can't hear you anymore. I'm still here.
Oh, there you are. There I am.
Great, there we are. I don't know when we got cut off.
Yeah. You were speaking about the reparations, or at least that's where I left off.
Yeah, I was just saying that work that we're doing has the potential to really heal through our generations, both forward and backwards in time. I believe that, you know, our ancestors are with us working towards, you know, our ultimate healing and futures. And, you know, and that we are working with them also, you know, as we do this work and as we deepen into that ritual and reparation practice. So yeah, so the Afrofuturism really feels like a tying, a sewing, a tapestry of past, presents, and futures all together in my work generally.
Wow.
And yeah, that's it.
It's so powerful, so powerful. So tell us, when is the big opening, and how long is it going to be up for? And it sounds like it's a site specific installation, but also a performance. So yeah. I would love to go to the performance. So tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Well, the opening and the show will be going in April. April 30th is the reception, and I will be doing a durational performance throughout the day. So there'll be some information going out so people can reserve their times to come into the gallery space during the durational performance. And then we'll have a public reception in the evening, most likely outside, and of course masked and socially distanced, and we'll have a limited capacity rotating in and out of the space. So we're working on ways to create both virtual and in-person engagement with the work. So April 30th, it'll be officially opened, and it will go until mid-June. So there'll be some time, and we'll have multiple events during the time. So I'll be doing a book signing, an artist's reading. We'll have talks. There'll be a screening of a film that we've made this year. Me and a group of incredible artists from Albuquerque, Lazarus Nance and Miles Tukno. We created a piece called Stages of Tectonic Blackness. that was produced by Ground Series in Albuquerque. That piece will be screened also. Right now it's showing in New York at Air Gallery, which is really exciting.
Cool.
So we'll be showing that. We'll have, as I said, multiple events going on through those months of April, May, and June.
Wow, so exciting. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so grateful that you were able to come on and speak about your work and speak about how, your process, and also, how you implement media, but also the depth of what you're trying to accomplish and are transforming through, transforming people through your art. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate you for joining me today. And I'm so excited to be able to be part of the reception and to actually see it live and see what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You too. Thank you.
Cool. Well, thanks so much.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Till next time.